A warm welcome to you. This is Auditive News. I am Mujisola Shulaja. Governor Abiodun holds stakeholders parley on farmers-herders conflict in Ogun State. Senate President advocates stiffer penalties for illegal possession of firearms. Banking sector loses 5 billion naira to fraud in 9 months. That reveals hostage ordeal. Dignity of labor has to be our national duty. It has to be a part of our nature, says Narendra Modi.
And on the sports segment of the news, and many more when I return later on the sports segment of the news. My name, Hakeem Akitunde. You're welcome.
The first priority of the current administration in Ogun State is the safety of lives and properties of everyone, irrespective of the circumstances of their birth or religious leanings. Therefore, in whatever form, the government of Ogun State condemns all forms of crimes and criminality, regardless of the perpetrators. These were the submissions of the Governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun, at a stakeholders' parley on farmers-herders conflicts in the state. Governor's office correspondent Tunde Olaniro reports that 5 governors joined Governor of Ogun State in finding lasting solution to the challenge. His reports.
The stakeholders' parley of farmers and herdsmen conflict is to find lasting solution to the security challenge in the nation and Ogun State in particular. The parley was the brainchild of the Governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun, which involved 5 other governors from Niger, Kebbi, Kano, Zamfara, and Ondo states.
We have to take some drastic measures. Otherwise, we are just scratching the problem on the back. We must understand these issues. There are ECOWAS problems. As of now, there are ECOWAS problems.
The issue of farmers and herdsmen has been there for long, but somehow it was being managed properly. Well, gradually the herdsmen migrated from genuine herdsmen to criminality and banditry.
We are here to support our colleague and to encourage him to do whatever is possible to make sure that peace shall reign in Ogun State.
Andanu láti Futajalon anda wá sí Èkó kì í ṣe nǹkan tá lè máa ṣe títí láéláé. Abẹ́rò bẹ́ẹ̀ ni abẹ́rò bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ̀yin méjì àlà ẹ sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ dáhùn ṣé nǹkan tó fẹ́ máa ṣe títí láéláé nìyẹn.
The governors agreed that herdsmanship needs to change from traditional to modern animal husbandry.
Ethnic sentiment, herdsmanship must change from tradition to commercial herdsmanship.
I think the time has come for the federal government to invest in herdsmen. It has always invested in farmers. I think the time has come to invest in herdsmen.
Nǹkan tó wà ń bẹ̀ ni pé òwò kì í fún òwò lọ́rùn àbọ̀wò òwò ń fún òwò lọ́rùn ni ibi tá a wà nìyẹn. Táwọn máa da màálù dápẹ́ ẹ̀dọ́nà káwọn máa da màálù ni ọ̀dọ̀ wọ̀nyí. Tẹ́ ẹ bá fẹ́ gbọ́ nǹkan tá a fẹ́ sọ fún yín pé open grazing ó lè dá wàhálà lẹ̀.
Governor Abiodun said the state has never been known for ethnic or religious tension and assured it would never be defined by those negative tendencies.
This underscores our commitment to peaceful coexistence of all the people that have made Abia State their home, and safety of lives and property of everyone, irrespective of the circumstances of their birth or religious leaning. Let me state that we will not compromise on this.
Prince Dapo Abiodun noted that there is a need for collective action by all, whether as native farmers, cattle owners, herdsmen, local community leaders, and security agents to rid the state of crimes.
It became evident that there are some elements whose intent is on setting our people against one another by whipping. The recent avoidable conflict left casualty and loss of properties on both sides. Those commenting the crisis are said to be non-residents of Abia State. Unfortunately, the crisis has been exacerbated by some undesirable elements within and outside the state that waked up ethnic sentiment. They sneak in at night, wreak havoc, and retreat after their evil acts. In whatever form, color, or ethnic group, a criminal is a criminal. We condemn all forms of crimes and criminality regardless of the ethnicity of the perpetrators.
He noted that the massive socioeconomic development in the state has been made possible by the peace and tranquility that it enjoys, adding that this must be jealously guarded. Tunde Olaniro, Auditive News.
Meanwhile, critical stakeholders in Ogun State have expressed readiness to support government in ensuring peaceful coexistence in the state. This was the consensus at the stakeholders meeting of farmers and herdsmen organized by the government of Ogun State. It was generally agreed at the forum that no development could happen without peace. Governor's Office correspondent Tunde Olaniro again reports.
In recent times, there have been incidents of farmers-herdsmen clashes at various parts in Nigeria, with Ogun State not left out, especially Yewa North local government area of the state. After visiting affected areas and victims, the Ogun State government convened this stakeholders meeting.
What are the problems that we have identified? We identified that we need to profile and enumerate. Let us know who are actually here with us, who have been here with us, so that we will know if there is stranger. And if these strangers come, if it is possible for them to stay with us, then we identify. If it's not possible, we do it peacefully, without killing ourselves, without fighting.
Deserve a lot of sympathy. Don't look them as criminals. They also suffer. Some who are running to come here, they are coming here looking for safe havens, for them to save their families, their only source of livelihood, which is the cow, and their children and wives. Because when they move, they always move with everything that they have in this world, and they stay in a forest, a vulnerable place, open for attack by all sorts of things.
Tí wọ́n wá láti ìlú òkèrè tàbí láti àwọn ìlú míì tó máa wá dá wàhálà lẹ̀ fún wa, tó máa pa wá, tó máa pa àwọn ọmọ wa, tó dẹ̀ máa pa àwọn dúkìá wa lára, tó dẹ̀ yẹ kó máa rí báyìí.
It was a no-holds-barred conversation at the meeting, and with the aim of bringing an end to the clashes. Traditional rulers also made their minds known on the issue, calling on all to follow all the agreements reached.
Lóòótọ́ láti jọ ń gbé pẹ̀lú àwọn Fúlàní ìtàn tí ń wá ní tipẹ́tipẹ́ láwọn bàbá wọ̀nyẹn. Ṣùgbọ́n ohun tó wá dé lóde òní pẹ̀lú àwọn Fúlàní ti sìn kò yé wa. Tẹ́lẹ̀.
The forest itself has now become the habitation for these bandits. We want, if the forest itself could not be used any longer, let the government turn it to another thing that will be usable, that will be valuable, that will be economically valuable for the state government and for all the citizens in Ogun State.
Let's guide our lieutenancy when there are issues that involve your people and the other people. He is a bridge builder.
We are looking for peace, and that peace has been ably and firmly underlined by His Excellencies who came from the northern part of this country. And we have even been told pointedly that they belong to different political parties. What more do we want then?
This meeting is among some of the steps the state government says it would continue to take to put a lasting end to the issue of farmers-herdsmen clashes in the state. Tunde Olaniro, Auditive News.
And the governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun, has visited the site of attacks on residents of Orile Igboro and Ojodo in Yewa North local government area, promising that a special task force has already been set up to bring an end to the ugly incidents. The governor also assured that the state government will of all those who were injured in the attacks.
The governor of Ogun State, Prince Dr. Abiodun, in company of the security chiefs in the state, arrived Ojaldo to inspect firsthand the security challenges confronting the area. The crowd trooped out in their numbers to listen to what the traditional rulers have to say.
Excellency, àwọn èèyàn wa wọ́n ní regard fún yín, wọ́n dẹ̀ mọ̀ wípé ẹ dá ẹjọ́ yẹn bó ṣe tọ́ bó ṣe yẹ.
Gómìnà àtijọ́ jókòó wọ́n ti ṣetán láti gbé ibi tí wọ́n máa fi ṣe ìjókòó wọn sí àgbègbè wa ń bí. Kì í ṣe kó máa wá láti Abẹ́òkúta mọ́, máa wá láti Ìláró. Wọ́n máa jókòó sáàrin wa ń bí ni permanently pẹ̀lú àwọn ọlọ́pàá agbófinró àtàwọn sójà.
The governor empathized with the people, assuring that the security situation is being looked into.
Aláti wá ọgbọ́n bí a ṣe máa bára wa gbé, bí a ṣe máa bára wa lò. A gbọ́dọ̀ máa para wa. Ẹnìkan gbọ́dọ̀ máa pa ẹnìkan. Ẹnìkan gbọ́dọ̀ máa gún ẹnìkan. Ẹnìkan gbọ́dọ̀ máa pa màálù ẹnìkan.
Ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ni.
Màálù ẹnìkan kẹ̀rẹ̀ gbọ́dọ̀ lọ sí oko ẹnìkan.
Ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ni kò dábẹ́.
Mo fẹ́ ràn yín pé sùúrù tẹ̀ ń ṣe.
The governor visited the site of the attacks in Orile Gboro and felt the pain of the community.
And we can directly see a relationship between the visit of a particular person to this part of the state. That visit, we see that it was a visit that provoked people here against the banditry or the criminal herdsmen that have been coming here to graze farmlands. And that provocation led to the destruction of some of their properties. Since that time, we've seen attacks and counterattacks. On the part of government, we immediately issued a statement denouncing violence in any form or guise. Ogun State is a state that thrives on a mix of diversity of all ethnic groups and even foreigners. That is our strength. We immediately set up a special task force for this area that comprises of men of the police force, men of the military, men of the civil defense, men of the state security, and even our hunters, to protect everyone, not just the indigents, but everyone, including those that are innocent, foreigners that have been living amongst us for many years. That we have put in place. We have provided adequate logistics for them, but new vehicles, motorcycles, radio equipment, and so on and so forth, and their welfare.
He promised that the government will foot the bills of the injured victims. The people of the area were excited about the visit of the governor, promising to cooperate with the task force on security of Yowa land that has been set up by the governor of Ogun State, Prince Dr. Abiodun. Tunde Olaniro, Auditive News.
And still on insecurity, the Ogun State House of Assembly has expressed worry on the rising cases of deadly attacks on members of some communities in the state by herdsmen, especially in Yewa Axis. The Speaker, Right Honorable Olakunle Oluomo, who expressed his feelings during a plenary while reacting to the submissions of members representing Yewa North 1 and 2 state constituencies, Honorable Adeyanju Adegoke and Honorable Wahab Haruna. Kolawole Osho's report is presented in this package.
The rising cases of deadly attacks on members of some communities in Ogun State by herdsmen, especially in Yewa axis of the state, has been brought to the front burner at the State House of Assembly as members representing Yewa North 1 and 2 state constituency, Honorable Adeyanju Adegoke and Honorable Wahab Haruna, under personal explanation, recalled the ordeals and agony of their constituents as a result of the incessant attacks on communities and villages, which resulted in loss of lives and property. The lawmakers, who acknowledged the visit of the state governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, to the affected areas, noted that the state Herdsmen, during his engagement with the people, assured of convening a security meeting to address issues resulting in the attacks with a view to promoting peace and tranquility in the border communities. Right Honorable Olakunle Oluomo, in his response, implored the residents, particularly those in the affected communities, to give necessary information to security agencies to aid their surveillance and tactical operations, while urging the security agent to be more proactive in stemming the dastardly act.
The governor has risen to the occasion. He has fixed the place. He has promised to upgrade the security apparatus in that area, and we shall be going for stakeholders meeting this afternoon. I want to believe that that meeting will come up with necessary solutions that will address that issue.
In another development, the Assembly has also adopted its report of the Committee on Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, presented by its chairman, Honorable Akim Balogun, on the extension of the tenure of the office of the transition committees in the 20 local government councils, having considered the prevailing circumstances in the state, especially the effect of the second wave of the COVID-19, which has prevented the state government from conducting local government elections as recommended by the House. The state lawmakers granted the tenure extension after the adoption of the report through a motion moved by Honorable Akim Balogun, seconded by Honorable Sylvester Abiodun, and supported by other lawmakers.
That paragraph 2 of the report be amended to call on the state government to set up ODSEC without further delay, so that the people of the state will know that the state is ready to conduct the local government election.
The lawmakers unanimously called for the immediate formation of the State Independent Electoral Commission to allow for the preparation of the council's election without further delay.
Still to come, federal government moves to reform the military. More news after the break. You're still watching OGTV News. Afenifere Egbe Ilosiwaju Yoruba has condemned the recent breakdown of law and order, which led to loss of lives and properties, as well as a loss of trust and a sense of community among the hitherto peaceful residents of Shasha, Ibadan, Oyo State. Acting national leader of the group, Senator Biyi Durojaye, in a statement, described the incident as one major security breach too many, observing that no patriotic Nigerian can feel comfortable in the face of these ominous signs that have been allowed either by omission or commission to persist unabated nationwide for too long. The elder statesman observed that the time has come for those who sincerely love Nigeria and desire its continued peaceful existence as a corporate body, particularly those constitutionally mandated to maintain peace and order, to put heads together quickly and find a just, equitable, and lasting solution to these recurring breaches of peace and security nationwide. Following the rising tension occasioned by the ethnic crisis in and around the country, a former head of state and chairman, National Peace Committee, General Abdulsalami Abubakar, has appealed to Nigerians to give peace a chance. Abubakar made the appeal at his hilltop residence in Minna, the Niger State capital, while addressing journalists on the tension growing in the country, where he called for calm, as these times demand that Nigerians join hands together to resolve the challenges so as to keep the country united. He noted that in the last 2 weeks, the tension growing in the country and embers of disunity, anarchy and disintegration are spreading fast, adding that if care is not taken, they may lead to a point of no return. He said the recent happenings in some parts of the country, ethnic attacks, are unfortunate and adding to the problems of insurgency, kidnapping and robbery. While appealing to the state governors, who are the chief security officers of the various states, to shed their swords, the chairman, National Peace Committee, said they should tone down their rhetorics and take full responsibility for managing the divergent voices and frustrations within their states. Senate President Hamid Lawan on Tuesday advocated stiffer penalties for anyone caught in possession of firearms not legally procured in Nigeria. According to him, the issue of insecurity across parts of the country would have been nipped, but for the continued illegal proliferation of firearms in the country. Lawan made this known in his concluding remarks after the Senate considered a bill seeking to amend the Firearms Act 2004. The bill, the Firearms Act 2004 amended, was sponsored by Senator Ubasani, representing All Progressives Congress from Kaduna Central. Nigeria had, in August 2019, closed its land borders to curtail illegal importation of drugs, small arms, and agricultural products into the country from neighboring West African nations. The borders were later reopened in December 2020. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, has recommended the creation of a federal government agency that will regulate the activities of herdsmen. Malami said this while delivering his address as a special guest of honor at the Peace, Unity and Security Lecture Series at the ECOWAS Main Auditorium, Abuja, on Tuesday. The minister admitted that the crisis between the herders and farmers had become a pressing issue and steps were needed to tackle it. He also said there was a need to revitalize the Nomadic Education Commission. He stated that Nigeria is predominantly agricultural in nature and by geography. To that extent, there is constant mobility of herders across the different belts of Nigeria. He also called for the revamping of the activities of the Nomadic Education Commission with a view to complementing the efforts of the government in resolving the farmer-herder clashes. Away from insecurity, Nigeria's principal envoys are expected to prioritize on more engagements of foreign partners in all diplomatic platforms to attract huge direct investment. At this time, Nigeria is diversifying the economy and changing the global perception about the country. This is some new task for Nigeria's ambassadors designate. Nigeria, being the most connected diplomatic power in Africa, an international profile which President Buhari has been building since 2015, strives to put the country as a center of global affairs and as well as expanding international reach. And that is why the government's policies seek huge infrastructure funds from partner nations to create new practical projects and trading corridors. The task and engagement are another effort in establishing a robust diplomatic infrastructure and a practical step to boost Nigeria's diplomatic influence.
With every country in the world, no exception. So this fact alone will make your jobs as envoys of Mr. President much easier.
It is vital that your undertakings on behalf of the country validate the trust and confidence by your sovereign, His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You are all aware that His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari is deeply committed to strengthen diplomatic ties with other countries.
You must brace yourself for both the honor and the challenges that go with your new positions.
96 ambassadors designate, 8 consuls general and 5 charge affairs are going out for the Nigeria's mission. The Minister of Defense, retired Major General Bashir Magichi, has inaugurated a 21-man committee on the reforms of the Ministry of Defense and the Armed Forces of Nigeria. Speaking during the ceremony, the minister gave the members a 10-point terms of reference as contained in the convening order. The minister told the committee to address the perceived administrative and operational gaps in the military sector, which he said must be refined and clearly defined in compliance with the current global acceptable 21st century standards. The Minister of Defense further tasked the committee under the chairmanship of retired Air Vice Marshal Muhammad Umaru to see their assignment as a patriotic call to national service and the need to play the roles in defense of the country's territorial integrity against the infractions of the insurgents, bandits, and kidnappers. He said President Muhammadu Buhari was optimistic that the recommendations of the committee at the end of their assignment will drive his campaign promise to return the military to its rightful place of global reckoning. In his remarks, the committee chairman assured the Minister of Defense that the members will bring the huge experiences and expertise to bear in the discharge of their assigned duties. The screening of the nominee for the position of chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Abdul Bawa, will be done in plenary. This was made known by the Senate President, Ahmed Lawan, after he read President Muhammadu Buhari's letter to the Senate at the start of plenary on Tuesday. No date has been announced for the screening exercise. In his letter to the lawmakers, President Muhammadu Buhari communicated his decision to appoint the 40-year-old Bawa as the new EFCC boss and sought the Senate's confirmation. The appointment, the president said, is in accordance with paragraph 2(3) of Part 1 of EFCC Act 2004. 40-year-old Bawa is a trained EFCC investigator with vast experience in the investigation and prosecution of advanced fee fraud cases, official corruption, bank fraud, money laundering, and other economic crimes. He is said to have undergone several specialized trainings in different parts of the world and was one of the pioneer EFCC cadet officers in 2005. He holds a BSc degree in economics and master's in international affairs and diplomacy. The House of Representatives on Tuesday unveiled plans to investigate series of special and intervention funds disbursed by President Muhammadu Buhari through various ministries, departments, and agencies over the past 6 years. To this end, the House resolved to set up an ad hoc committee to investigate the disbursement of funds received by the MDAs from 2015 to 2020, with a view to ensuring that such funds were properly utilized. In his debate, Deputy Chairman, House Committee on Niger Delta, Honorable Henry Nwawuba, expressed concern over the constraints faced by federal government to revert to external and internal borrowings to augment domestic savings, balance of payment deficit, and shortfalls in revenue. The House is concerned that despite the huge amount of funds invested, citizens continue to undergo untold hardship. The House is also concerned that despite the huge loans to boost the economy, Nigeria still slipped into its second recession in less than 5 years. Agriculture is one of the highest employers of labor the world over, and the need to provide employment for the youth has made their involvement in the sector a critical one. In this special report, Matthew Shomi takes a look at the contributions of the youth towards reducing unemployment in the country. His report.
Recognizing the important role of agriculture in the development of the nation and diversification of the economy, the potentials of the sector, if properly harnessed, will help address the current socio-economic challenges. This is why the active involvement of youths as the most active segment of the population has been advocated by stakeholders as the way out of the problem of unemployment in the society.
There is need for us to make the farming look like a business, not like farming just to eat. So until that is done, number one, we never expose them to the value chains, which is necessary, not necessary in production, how you can process.
Agriculture is an household business and is a business and a sector whereby any meaningful government should hold in high esteem.
They believe the nation has a lot to benefit if the youth can be brought on board and be fully involved in agricultural activities and the value chains.
If there's any sector of the economy that can really be a kind of rescue team that can do it, is agricultural line. There's no gainsaying about it. Because number one, we have the population, over 200 million people, and still increasing. It then means that our daily needs in terms of food alone is enough for us to push in more.
They are energetic, they are vibrant, and they are diligent. All we need to do is just to encourage them, give them a meaningful loan, give them a vast of land, and give them machineries in order to improve, this agricultural sector.
It's, for us to achieve the objective, the goal of we need young people daily. What are the goals of agriculture? One, to provide, we can use agriculture as we are doing in the state to provide jobs for the teeming population. So we have youth unemployment. One of the best options, readily available option, is to look up to agriculture.
Commissioner for Agriculture in Ogun State, Dr. Adiola Odedno, said with the right policies, motivation, encouragement, and needed impetus, the youth will be attracted to the sector.
Anything you're doing that is agricultural, that is should be of importance to youth, mechanization must be there. ICT must also be there. Linkage must also be there. So anything you want the young people of today to embrace, don't take away mechanization.
As the nation turns towards agriculture to achieve the dream of diversification of the economy, the pivotal role of the youth cannot be overemphasized. Matthew Shomi, Auditive News.
A report just coming in as it that the former governor of Ogun State, Abubakar Daniel, has been received into the All Progressives Congress in the state. The former governor was received by governors of Ogun, Ondo, Kebbi, Niger, and Kano State at his Asoludero home in Shagamu. We'll bring you details in our subsequent bulletins. For Nigeria education to get back to its right track, there is need for sound educational policy to be put in place with reduced emphasis on the supremacy of certificate over skills and professional competence. This is one of the factors highlighted by respondents while speaking with OGTV News on the causes and effect of examination malpractices on Nigeria education. Elizabeth Esson reports.
Nigerian educational system suffers from the examination malpractices for a long time, as academic certificates are believed to be worthless and are no more valuable than the paper they are printed on. Filling the pulse of some Nigerians on the causes and effects of this menace, They stated that there should be improvements in the delivery of instruction, especially at the foundation level.
When you see parents taking children to school and encouraging teachers to do the sums or to even tell them the answers or practice all the assignments given with the answers on them, then you look and wonder that what is our society becoming?
We can't be spending less to education and be expecting something special. So until we see that sector as a very important sector that no any other sector can track without making sure that we fund it very well. Otherwise, we'll be getting fake substandard.
According to them, wrong value systems such as quest for certification instead of knowledge and skills, laziness, lack of preparation, self-confidence, amongst others, should also be addressed.
Today, we are celebrating quack. We are celebrating non-entities. You give appointment to somebody who acquire certificate, but no skill.
I want to encourage owners of schools to be forthright. Forthright. Your school is not noted for excellence by exam malpractice. Your school is not noted by the good results, in quotes, that the children carry all about. If those certificates cannot defend them.
To Nigerians, just as jail term or public execution has not been able to deter armed robbers in Nigeria, penalties for examination malpractice stated in the 1999 Constitution has not been fully applied on defaulters.
Those that are caught, and that's why you continue to hear about rustication in universities, even in secondary schools, they send them away, expel them. Most of the time, at times, we want them to also learn from whatever mistakes they have made, and that's why at times it should just be rustication, maybe for one session or for 2 sessions, depending on the severity of the malpractice.
They therefore enjoined stakeholders to desist from paying lip service to these menace, as there is need for religious and community leaders to intervene on parents who insist on their children getting the best result without genuine efforts for it. Elizabeth Esson, Ochi TV News.
The Federal Medical Center, Idiaba, Abeokuta, has been described as one of the foremost regional specialist hospitals in the country that has continued to make its mark in the provision of medical services. The General Manager of Ogun State Television, Abeokuta, Mr. Festus Kende, gave the description when he led other management staff on a courtesy visit to the hospital in Abeokuta. Adebola Oshomoji reports.
Towards deepening mutual relationship and appreciating the management of the Federal Medical Center, Idiaba, Abeokuta, the General Manager of Ogun State Television, Mr. Festus Kende, has led the management team of the station on a courtesy visit to the hospital.
The expansion that has come to FMC, we also witness it in OGTV. You can now receive OGTV on channel 100 on GoTV, 260 on DSTV, gradually Pan Africa, anywhere you are. Because we don't even want to be limited, we have a functional app anywhere you go. UK, US, we believe we can also add value to this kind of establishment that is very close to us, to also showcase what we are doing here.
Mr. Festus Kende also commended the effort of the hospital's management for actualizing the telemedicine conference for adequate and effective medical treatment.
When we heard that you successfully started and completed the telemedicine hub, I said I want to visit the place. Because telemedicine should be of interest to us. Yes. Yeah. That you thought, that fit. We look at it and say, no, I think we don't just have to go and pay a visit to Prof. We must see some of these things. I saw structures. We used to buy drugs in one place before. It will move to another place. And before we know what is happening, we saw a building emerge. Congratulations.
In his response, the Chief Medical Director, FMC Abeokuta, Professor Musa Olumu, appreciated OGTV management team for the visit, noting that the manual method of rendering healthcare services to the public is becoming obsolete.
If a patient gets here, and I think that if you have been spending 2 hours, 3 hours in the hospital before they eventually get everything, it has been reduced to some 30 minutes now. Be able to see doctors, get to the lab, your results immediately through the computerization. Your consultant will get it at the consulting room, and you can easily prescribe. Before you get to the pharmacy, your prescription is already there. All they need to do is just to hand over your drugs for you, and you pay online, and that will be it.
The two organizations thereafter exchanged gifts as a symbol of cooperation and mutual understanding. Adebola Oshomuji, Auditive News.
In line with the Fundamental Enforcement Procedure Rules, the Federal High Court has abolished the charging of fees on monetary claims and default fees. An Assistant Chief Registrar Litigation, Jane Ego, in a circular upon the directive of the Chief Judge, Justice John Soho, was made public on Tuesday. Before now, applicants in fundamental rights enforcement cases were charged fees on monetary claims. They were also required to pay penalty where they defaulted in filing processes within the time allowed by the ruler. On the business news segment, banking sector loses 5 billion naira to fraud in 9 months. Join us for details after the break. The National Bureau of Statistics has reported that the Consumer Price Index, which measures inflation, increased by 16.47% year-on-year in January 2021. Also, food inflation rose 20.57% in January 2021 compared to